to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways, beloveds, and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. So much is happening across the world, beloveds. The end time plagues and the end time, floods are literally here, especially when we look at Babylon. Babylon is falling. Babylon has fallen. And we're now starting to see the physical, ramifications of that, or the physical proof of that, if you want to put it like that. I'm sure a lot of you are aware that crazy floods that have not been seen in like 1,000 years hit Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland, and it was 7 countries. I can't remember the other 2, and they've caused absolute devastation. We even had the Chancellor of Germany saying she visited the scenes of the crime. You can see some of the pictures here, and she was like, it was terrifying how the rain came, how the floods came, and there was so many comments that were happening, and there was one lady that went right viral in Kenya, this German woman who was like, this is something that happens in a third world country. We don't see people dying from floods in Germany in 2021. It was okay. She might have been emotional, she might have been over, but it was shocking, and thousands are still missing, homes are destroyed, etc., etc. Is this what they're calling climate change? And so, they say the death toll has exceeded 180, since the devastating floods. And now they're even saying that Europe should actually prepare for more of this as the world heats up. Now, I'll find you in the comments to kind of get deeper into what's really going on. But beloveds, everything is changing. Mama Earth is cleansing herself. Everything is being renewed and restored. And there's a lot when they talk about climate change. These are one of the reasons that they want people locked in, because now they're talking of climate change lockdowns. Because that sun is shining, beloveds. The world is heating up. And when you look at the devastation, the officials actually have been warning that because so many people are missing, the death toll could go up. And this isn't just Western Europe that's been hit by floods. China has been experiencing crazy weather as well. They've had, I think it's in Henan province or something like that. They've had crazy floods as well. And unfortunately, some people even died in the metro when they got flooded out. And you guys should really look at, there's many channels. There's one called HARP, which has been, they just show all the floods in different countries. Don't rely on mainstream media to tell you what's going on right now. Otherwise, you'll mix the full picture. Yeah, and you'll miss the full picture. So, in China, there's also been crazy floods in Henan province. I don't know if you guys have been following the story of the elephants that have been making this pilgrimage from the south of China to the north of China. It looks like they're, they always say animals move to higher ground. Do they sense a tsunami coming, etc., etc.? Because, China flattened a lot of mountains, etc., etc., to build a lot of cities and really messed with nature. So it will be interesting to keep an eye out on that. But this should be telling you something, beloveds. In Canada, the BC, British Columbia area has actually declared a state of emergency as wildfires surge. They say over 300 wildfires are actively burning across the western province of British Columbia, which saw record heat last month. Let's not forget that hundreds actually died from heat waves never experienced before in Canada last month. And they even had to introduce cooling centers to help people, avoid the extreme heat. I think it hit 49 degrees or something like Celsius or something crazy like that. And so now they're experiencing wildfires. Beloveds, if we go over to Australia, there's been a mice plague. I don't know, I'm sure you've been seeing these stories. And there was even a story of how this mice like gorged out this woman's eye. Oh, because mice, they like bite and then they blow. How does a mouse gouge out your eye? But Australia is dealing with millions and millions of mice. They're saying it's because of it's actually a plague of mice. It's devastating their food crops, and the mice are extremely smelly and acidic. And get this, mice actually first appeared in Australia with the arrival of the British colonialists all the way back in 1788. Don't forget, Australia was where they used to send the prisoners of, like, if you don't want to keep the prisoners in the divided kingdom, they'd send them to Australia. But these days the continent, they say, has seen population boom and die off every few years. But they're saying because of the extreme drought, and then they had like a bumper harvest, all these are reasons. But beloveds, they can't get rid of the mice because they can't kill them. And they're everywhere. Like, millions of mice invade the homes. If you haven't seen those videos, definitely check it out. But what is happening, beloveds? What is happening? And what should we be doing what should we be doing in this season? I think I've repeated myself, but same message with a new voice, the new voice of today. I know a lot of you know what's happening. These are the signs, beloveds. These are the signs. We give thanks and praise to the Most High that no extreme weather is being experienced across Africa at this point. It shows that spiritual prayer shield is holding, beloveds, from many, many things, because we are not alone, and we're not walking in these end times alone. But what is really going on? If you can put it in code in the comments, I'll find you there. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? Yeah. The plagues and floods are here. I almost tripped over my own feet. The plagues and floods are here. They told us about this in Revelations. I keep saying this is the Revelations is not the only end time story. It's the one they've doctored. If the whole Bible is doctored, we can't believe that Revelations was left, as the truth of what is going to happen in the end times. There's a lot that's been missed out. But we're seeing the floods hitting Western Europe. And something strange is going on in the divided kingdom, because they just ended every restriction, mask wearing, everything related to the pandemic. I think because they say they've gotten the herd immunity. I think 70 or 80% of the population has been, vaccinated. But now people are like, what's happening there? Because the numbers are going up. It's just like, beloveds, you need to know what time it is. Prophetically, as a seer, like, Babylon is falling. I don't know how else you want it to show. Because you see, Babylon is a state of mind first, and mentally Babylon has fallen. It's just that so many people are still holding on to it. But spiritually, the war has been won. Babylon has fallen, and now we're starting to see it physically. As the earth renews herself for this new age, she's a living, breathing, sentient being. And she called in for reinforcements so that she could make this transition. So, beloveds, this should be like alarm bells to you to get out of Babylon and get on the mothership. I think I said this in like 2018 or 2019, that Africa is the ark. There's been crop failures across the world, beloveds. That's what now they were saying in Western Europe, like their harvest is affected. And it's happened across the world. The major suppliers of food to the world, even China, have been hit. So that should tell you, like, the Hunger Games things are coming, beloveds. Please be preparing. If you are in Babylon right now, get out of the cities because that's where the energy of Babylon is strongest. Get into a rural area and then defend and protect yourself. You need to start watching, like, there's different really good preppers out there. Canadian prepper is one, city prepper is another one, full spectrum prepper is another one. If you have any preppers that you know, that really, they've prepared their communities. And you should look at how the Mzungus are acting in Babylon. They're preparing for like some kind of massive fallout, the ones that are really getting ready. The rich ones are already in their bunkers. They've been in their bunkers for like a year, waiting for the fallout to happen. Because the fallout is going to be climate-wise, beloveds. There must be change. And for new to come, the old must fall away. We are seeing the end of the old world order. Someone put that in the comments the other day and I was like, nice. So what should we be doing? Get out of her, beloveds. Get out of Babylon, beloveds. Even if you can't physically. Because now they're making it harder, you know, with the whole unemployment. People don't have access to as much, cash, which is energy, etc., etc. So they're making it hard, but you have to realize we're in supernatural times. And literally, you are a magnet to what you think and feel. And you can draw things to yourself, beloveds. And it's not easy because we've not been trained to do it. But that thing of like, you can draw your escape to you. You can draw your escape funds to you. You can draw, the money that you need for land to you. And I know a lot of youth in Africa are saying, what should we be doing? Beloveds, we can see, I talked about how France had withdrawn, but it looks like they're getting ready to create the super UN force. Stories for other days. I'll probably do a show on that. But if you can get out, get out. If you can't, move away from the cities. Although now they're even training their police force on how to manage the rural population. Stock up on food, stock up on water. And if you're seriously legit about not being part of the experiment, then you need to make sure that there is nothing that would pull you back to Babylon. Everything you're doing should not involve you going to an office, a stadium, any Babylon system. And the thing is, they've made it so reliant on it. But if you're still watching football, if you're still going to the movies and caring about, going to concerts, etc., etc., that time is up for now, beloveds. You're going to miss, you're in another reality that is not even there anymore. Prepare yourselves, prepare your children. Let them know what is going on. Don't let them follow blindly. Let them know that these are the end times that our ancestors and ancient ones talked about. Tell the children the truth. Don't keep them in this la-la land like everything's going to be okay. Nothing is going to be okay. Nothing is returning to normal. The new normal is the new world order, beloveds. So that's what you need to do. And for those of you who call me and say you really want to leave, but you don't have this, you don't have that, physically you're here, all these things. Start spiritually and mentally. Like, beloveds, it seems so simple and basic that most people would ignore it, but it's all in the mind. Get your mind right. Like, that should be your number one priority. And if you can't move, if you're stuck where you are, then get wise. Get your security together, whether you're in an apartment or whatever situation you're in. Stock up on food. Don't keep your food out in the open. Like, they've even they did a dress rehearsal for the zombie apocalypse. What do you think is coming, beloveds? The plagues are here. I mean, we are literally in the end game scenario. So don't allow yourself to slacken, beloveds. A bird just came and landed on the camera. Don't allow yourself to slacken. Get into nature, beloveds. If you have any other tips that people can benefit, can benefit from, is there something that you're doing that's benefiting your family, please leave the links below. Tuko pamoja.